everyone, I am Hersam and I am a producer of this brand new D3 TV show called Choose Your Right Class. Basically, this TV show, we will have some guests over here. They will talk about the experience, feeling about the class that they are taking in. So let's introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Shaylin. I'm a freshman. I'm currently in Psychology 100D, and my intended major is pre-engineering.
Hi everyone, my name is Jade Karras and I'm also a freshman. I am in Psych 100C with Professor Hertenstein, and as of right now my intended major is psychology/biochemistry.
We are talking about the psychology class. It's an intro to Psychology 100, right? So we will have three emotions. The first one is smiling for positive answer. The second one is sad one, that is for negative answer. And the last one is neutral. You guys don't know what is it, but you guys will give some explanation. So let's get started. Okay. My first question is the interest about the psychology class. How can you guys rate your class based on its interest?
I think it's that.
Okay, it's out. So first, Ceylon, can you explain why you give it positive?
Yeah, so because we have actually 20 students in the class, so we actually have a lot interaction with the professor, and also currently we are learning, brain structure, so it sounds really fun to me.
Okay, and how about you, Jade?
There's also about maybe 20-30 students in my class, and we do a lot of group projects in class where we get to actively act out, we acted out an axon, how it sends action potentials. And right now we're learning about consciousness and sleeps and dreams and things like that, yeah, which I love learning.
Oh, fantastic. So how about the units? How can you rate the units of that class? Apply it to your social life, apply it to your academic life? Different answers now. So I think Silent first.
Yeah. So I feel it's really useful because psychology, you can learn about yourself. You also can learn others, especially how when you deal with stress, especially from study finals. You know how to control your emotion, and you know how to relax yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. The only reason I didn't go with this is because if you're not an intended psychology major, then it might be a little bit boring to you.
Yeah.
But it's still important. We recently talked about sleep disorders and how much sleep you need to get and how it really affects your day if you don't get enough sleep. And there's a lot of just the problem solving methods you use in everyday life, and a lot of the topics you talk about in your other classes, I talk about them in my philosophy class and my Latin class.
The next question is, imagine that I am a first-year student, the class of 2026, and I ask you guys, should I take the psychology class? What is your answer? Oh, okay, let's explain Trey first.
Okay, I definitely think that you should, because it teaches you how to study, first of all. And that's very important going in as a freshman, and it's also it's a bigger class, so you get more. It's not as close of a one-on-one, direct, but you still have a class discussion, yeah. And so I think that's very important.
And how about Ceylon?
Yeah, so a practical point about psychology, because that's count as math and the science score. So if you are not a science person, you can take psychology as your math and science credits to meet your graduation requirement. Yeah.
So a question for Trade. If you are not majored in psychology, will you take that class?
Yes. I think that it's important, and it's just fun to learn about how your brain processes and how you interact with other people, especially because I'll find myself as I'm walking to Hoover, oh my gosh, I know why that person is reacting like that.
So I have a good question that maybe some students really care about the homework, about the assignments. How can you guys raise it on a lot up to a little bit?
Okay.
So let's rate it. Okay. Why? Can you tell me about the assignments or homework you guys have every day, every week?
Mm-hmm. I'll let you go first.
Oh yeah, sure. So last week we just had 2 essay reflection from the video we are watching. It's about a brain structure and how brain works. And I feel like we don't have a lot project or assignment every week, but we usually got assignment once in 2 weeks. So I feel like it's pretty reasonable. Yeah.
And Dr. Hertenstein kind of takes more of a different approach. We don't have a lot of out-of-class homework. Like, we have big tests that we prepare for, little quizzes here and there, but at the end of the year, we have this big paper that we're preparing to write now.
Yeah.
And he covers a lot of the information in class, but not all of it. So like every week is designated a certain chapter, and you're expected to read that chapter on your own in order to understand. So it's a lot of self-studying. Like, he's not directing you to what you need to know necessarily. So I think that can be kind of difficult, but it just helps you to learn how to manage your time more.
The last questions, but it's really important when I choose a class. Is it difficult? So confused. The same answer again. So Salem first, why?
Yeah, I feel like it really depends. Like, for psychology, there are some social science part. Like, if you are really good at writing, or if you are good at reading, maybe you find the first chapter, the survey part or the dreaming part is interesting to you. But if you are not like a science person, or if you are a science person, you're gonna find the biological, the brain structure, the brain function part is interesting to you. So it really depends on, like, are you good at science? Are you really into, like science part? Yeah.
And how about you, Jade?
I think that it's difficult in the sense of you have to learn how to study on your own. Like, I in high school was not the kind of person who had to avidly study for things. And now that I'm in Dr. Hertenstein's class, I have to know how to study, but I have to know how to study my own way. So I have to learn like what kind of learning is best for me. Okay. But the actual class itself, like being in class, isn't very hard because you take notes.
I think like that's it. I mean, like, it's enough for us to know about the course, about the class that since we take psychologists or not. To me, I am taking the psychology too, and I say like, is it really interesting? And based on the feedback of these students, maybe because they are good students or not, but it's so interesting to take the psychology class. So you guys should take this class into consideration. Goodbye, and see you in the next episode. Thank you.